Hello, this is Shauna. I just wanted to come out with a video for women drivers. Well, mainly new women drivers coming out here. Some things that I've thought about for a while. The main important things. There's a whole lot of videos I can make. But the main one is this right here saying, "Be vigilant. Know your surroundings." And so I'm gonna start with that. You coming out here and you're starting to drive and everything like that. For me, um, there's a lot of reasons why I would prefer to drive at night. Now, I mean, when you're in training and everything like that, you got to do what you got to do, whatever however that's worked until you're out there by yourself. And then, really, honestly, I mean, until you get a system down, until you figure everything out, it's going to be a little while. I mean, you're just going to have to run probably until you figure out how to work it. Just whatever you need to run. But I've been doing this for 7 years now. And so now I'm to a point where I'm sorry, and I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be rough at first. You're gonna have to put up with a lot of BS, a lot of stressing, anxiety, or whatever. I mean, everybody's different. You may not go through as much as one other person may, or whatever. However you want to do it. But when I first came out here, I had to really push myself to want to keep going because I mean, it's just I am a slower driver. I am more cautious. And the reason why, I will tell you now, my sister was killed in a car accident in 2011. And I didn't get my CDL until 2014. But anyways, it took a lot. I mean, because I mean, I lost somebody from a car wreck. You know, people that are out here and driving and everything like that. I mean, until you have that somebody close die and something like that, I mean, you don't really think about it too much. I mean, you just driving, going at whatever speed, and you just because I mean, I'm guilty of it. When I was younger, I remember one time, I didn't even have my license yet. I had my mom's car. My mom allowed me to use it. I didn't take it. But I was driving and everything like that. And I remember this. It was a car just like ours. It was a Dodge Neon. And it was passing me because I was going slow. And I was just like, because it got kind of close to me. I was like, no. So I sped up and I passed it and I hit the brakes. And I'm like, now thinking about it now, how stupid was that? I mean, God really had to been there with me. So I'm just saying, we all do things sometimes, make mistakes or whatever. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't want to be making a lot of mistakes in an 18-wheeler. You don't. You just don't. Um, Not too long ago, there was and I haven't heard the whole story, but there was a guy. And it was because, and this is another thing, when you're going up and down these mountains, it's not like a car. Um, you have to have it in the right gears and everything like that. And when you start going downhill, you do not need to lose control because you may not get it back. That's what happened. I guess I don't know. He was going fast, trying to pass people, trying to do stuff or whatever. I don't know. I can't say that because I'm thinking actually of another video. I don't know what he was doing, but all I know is that he lost control, and then they have these runaway ramps on these mountains and everything like that. Well, he didn't take the runaway ramp. Probably because he was scared, he might miss it, or I mean, I have thought about it myself before. I mean, what if I don't hit it right or something and it kills me and this and that? I mean, there's so many thoughts that go through your head. So he didn't take the runaway ramp, and he ended up killing, I don't remember how many people, but several different people died because of that. And now he's facing criminal charges. So this is serious business. You don't need to be out here playing around. And that's why I'm going to tell you right now, I went through 4 trainers because of me losing my sister and everything else. And they kept, you got to hurry, you got to go, you got to do this, you got to. No, I'm sorry. You're not going to force me into something I don't feel comfortable doing, you know. Um, so, yeah, I went through some trainers. So don't feel bad and don't feel guilty. I don't feel bad. I don't feel guilty. I don't. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, and they weren't bad people. I'm gonna say right now too. The last one especially. Too. He was a real good-hearted man. And everything. And the older man, he had lost his daughter, but not from an accident or anything like that. I can't really remember what happened, but I know it wasn't an accident or anything. Um, but I mean, he had some sympathy. He kind of understood, but he still had that mentality. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's hurry, let's go. So I mean, they're not bad people. It's just there's some people that just have this in the trucking industry. They do have it where they try to push you. You got to go, you got to get there, we got to get that load there, we got to. But your life and other people's lives are not worth that load. Not any day, ever. I'm sorry. I don't care if you throw put $1 million in my face and tell me, here, if you get this right there real quick, go 100 miles an hour, I'll give you this $1 million. Psh, you can keep your $1 million. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you right now. Because it's not worth it. So many people lose their lives from being in a hurry. And I'll tell you another instance what happened to me. And this was at no fault of my own or anything like that, and they know it. I did drug tests. I did everything I was supposed to do. I will try to. If you know anything about around Miami, Oklahoma, on the tolls, it happened over there. It was. I was on my way back, trying to go back to Texas for home time. I was on my way to Dallas, and I was on the toll, and I wish I would have stayed that night. I mean, I felt like God was kind of telling me, and I didn't. But I stopped at the Iowa 80, I think that's what it's called. That big truck stop. If anybody's a truck driver, you know which one I'm talking about. Well, I stopped over there and I was thinking, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna stay here tonight. But then I started thinking, man, I got a lot of time still. I'm trying to get home and everything else. So I was like, nah, I don't have much longer. I can make it. So I wasn't tired or anything. I was just thinking I would stop. Um, anyways, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna stop here. And the reason why I was thinking to stop there was because I knew it would be a while before I saw anything else. And if I were to get tired, I'd be in a good spot or whatever. I didn't have to rush, in other words, because I was on my way home for home time. But I didn't stop. I was like, no, I want to get home. And so I got in the truck and I started heading back or down my way and everything like that. It had been kind of misting and raining. It wasn't raining hard or anything like that, but then it was kind of foggy and it was starting to get dark. So it was still, daylight, just getting dark. And then I got down the road a little bit and it had gotten a little bit darker. And I could see some lights in the left lane. I was in the right lane. And I was like, I don't, because I was still kind of far away. I was like, I don't know, what's going on. And all I could see was just lights. And I could see it wasn't moving or anything like that. So I knew it was a car or something like that that was stalled or something in the left lane. So I put my flashers on and I started kind of slowing down because I didn't know, what was going on. I didn't want to hit somebody or, I didn't know what was going on. So when I put my flashers on and I started slowing down, the car behind me went around me and they were going at a high speed. I don't know how fast they were going or anything like that. But when they went around me, they hit that car that was stalled or whatever, bounced back and hit my rim of my truck. And later come to find out that car that I saw, I couldn't really see if it was moving or anything like that. Well, they have, how they have those emergency where you can turn around or whatever, on those concrete barriers, they have an opening. It's for emergency vehicles only. You're not supposed to use those. Well, they had tried to use it and they missed the opening and hit the barrier. And I don't, from what I understand, and I don't know everything. From what I understand, they weren't wearing seatbelts, or one was wearing seatbelts, or no. I think both of them weren't wearing seatbelts. But again, I don't know everything. I don't know the whole story. I don't know. But from what I understand, that they were ejected out of the car. One of them landed into the oncoming traffic on the other side. The other one, thank goodness, missed the oncoming traffic and landed, out of the traffic coming. So they survived, but the other one unfortunately didn't. And after that, for a little while, I just went back home and did local trash truck and everything like that. Even though it wasn't my fault, I had nothing to do with it. I mean, I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was paying attention. I saw what was going on ahead of me. Unfortunately, the other car behind me wasn't paying attention. And then the ones that passed away and everything like that, that car that was stopped or whatever, was stalled, they were already gone. They had already ejected out of the car, everything, before I had arrived there. But this is serious business. I mean, things like this happen all the time. And it can't be, I mean, sometimes it's not any fault of your own, but you're going to witness things. And unfortunately, I had to witness that. And I mean, I already knew how it felt to lose somebody because I had lost my sister. She was 31 years old. She was, she had a 10-year-old son. But so I'm gonna tell you that that too on the be vigilant. You need to look as far ahead as you can see. And when it's raining, when it's snowing, whatever, any kind of bad weather, you need to be slowing down. Take my advice on that, please, because we have too many accidents already. And a lot of times, sometimes it's not always. I don't care what any lawyers or whatever want to say. It's not always the truck driver's fault. A lot of these, I really wish they would actually make everyone that drives aware or learn a little bit about 18 wheelers, because I didn't even know some of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of weight behind you in those 18 wheelers. We can't stop on a dime like a car can. And cars don't think about that kind of stuff. And so they go and they get in front of you. I've had that happen too. They go and they get in front of you and they're not paying attention. They're texting on their phone or whatever. Like this one time, um, I was paying attention. I was seeing, but even paying attention, I barely had enough time to react. You know, and hopefully nothing happened, or well, I mean, hopefully nothing happened. Thankfully, nothing happened. Besides, I'll tell you about that in a minute, but it's funny. What I want to tell you in a minute. But yeah, the construction, it turned into one lane. And the one on the left side wasn't paying attention that it was turning just into the right lane. There wasn't going to be nothing on the left lane no more. They were texting, they were looking on their phone or whatever they were doing, and they went right in front of me and pushed on the brakes. Thankfully, I kind of was already, thinking that they were going to do that, so I had already kind of started slowing down, but I mean, I was already at a pretty good speed. So I couldn't slow it completely all the way down. I ended up having to get over some around by the where all the barrels are that they put out for construction and everything like that. I kind of had to go over there and to not hit them, because I mean they were just, I mean, slamming on their brakes, and I'm here. I am an 80,000 pound vehicle behind you. Really, come on now. But what happened was, my husband was in the back. We were team drivers. He is a driver. I'm a driver. He was in the back trying to sleep, and we have, because we don't stop a lot or whatever. We have one of those or we had. We don't now, but anyways, we had a camping potty, a potty that you take when you go to camp and stuff like that or whatever. We had a camping potty in there. It is closed. It had a lid and we had a trash bag in it, so that way when we got done, we could, close it up and dispose of it, at a rest area or whatever, in the restroom or whatever. Well, I guess I don't know if it was me or him or somebody had used it. And when I had to slam on my brakes, he went flying out of the bed and hit that potty that was over there and knocked it over. And so we had everything a mess all over the floor and everything. Thankfully, we had bleach and everything like that. He was so mad waking up like that. We had to pull over and we just bleached down the floors and everything, and just got it all cleaned up. But it was it was funny. I mean, at the time he was mad. But I mean, hey, I'm thankful I did not hit nobody. I did not kill nobody. That's all that mattered. And if you don't know anything about this, and you're just now getting your CDL, I'm going to tell you, they have those at Walmart. They have, it's like a little 3 gallon or 5 gallon bucket, and you put a lid on top. It looks just like a toilet seat lid or whatever. You put trash bags in there. So that way, if you happen to have to really go and there's nowhere to go, I'm sorry. We're truck drivers. You better get used to it. You gotta go when you gotta go sometimes. It's better than, pulling over to the side of the road and doing my business where everybody can see me. I mean, I would think, don't you think? I don't know. You can leave your comments on there about that. But yeah, so that part, okay, so be vigilant about that. But really what I wanted to get at is women drivers. So now that I've had my experience and everything, and like I said, it may take a little while for you to find how to work it and everything like that. You can ask for advice or whatever, what have you. But what I like is nights. And, I'll tell you, there's a lot of reasons why. One, I like not driving because there's less traffic. You're able to get to places a lot faster because you're not having to worry about if you're going to go through Houston or you're going to go through Dallas or, whatever, some other big cities or whatever. And then there's construction and then there's accidents. And, there's all kinds of things that could slow you down. You could end up being, I've been in there a lot of times in Dallas and get there. Oh, because I used to work for a company that did the Lowe's stores around Dallas. Would deliver over there at the Lowe's, the stores. Um, but I sometimes I work in the morning and everything like that, and I'm trying to remember. We started about 6:30, 7 in the morning, but by the time I hit by the time I hit Dallas, it was already everybody was trying to go to work, everything else. I mean, I was there. It took me probably an hour and a half, 2 hours to get where I needed to go, going through all that. So, but if you were to being able to hit that at a time when it's not busy, when nobody's trying to go to work, when there aren't a whole lot of people out or whatever, I mean, you can just fly right on through there. No problem. And so that's what I want you to get to understand too. It's your time. You have an 11-hour clock every day, well, every 10 hours to drive. If you're stuck in traffic for 2 or 3 hours, I mean, you're eating up your time because you can't cut it off, so you'll learn. You'll learn about those clocks. I mean, there's some places that you can, if you're owner operator, you can use personal conveyance. You can change this and change that and blah blah blah, whatever. I'm not gonna get into all that because it'll take that's a whole nother video. But yeah, so nights, because of your time, is saved. And then another thing is, your time is saved. Your traffic is slower. You can get to places a lot easier. And then also, when you drive at night, you're able to park in safer areas for women. And you're in the daytime. You're there parked at a truck stop in the day. And it's easier to get in to take a shower. Because I'm gonna tell you, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's about when everybody's stopped for the day, truck drivers and everything. So you're usually stopped about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. If you don't get in, and I'm gonna tell you that too. If you don't get in there about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and experienced truck drivers comment, but I can guarantee you someone's gonna be backing me up on this. My uncle was a 30-year driver, so he's the one that told me that too. He says you better find you somewhere to park, because you're not gonna find parking. Then that's when you're gonna end up having to be on the side of the road or whatever, in these unsafe areas. So, and then also, you're a new driver. It's a lot easier to back if you find a spot, I mean, you got like 3 or 4 spots that don't have no trucks in them or no nothing's in them. I'm sorry. I mean, I like that when I was new too, because trying to back between people in the middle of the night too, when you're trying to, or 4 or 5 o'clock when there's people trying to come in, all the truck drivers are trying to come in, and you're trying to find you a spot, and you're new and you're still trying to learn how to back and everything like that, and you're trying to back between these 2 trucks. It's nerve-wracking, and accidents happen a lot more like that. So I'm just saying, not driving, you're able to find a safer place, and you're able to get in and get out. Get in, take your shower, take your time, whatever, because around, I want to say, probably by 8 or 9 in the morning. I usually wait till about 10 if I can. I'll go ahead and go in, and then, but that is one thing I will give you the advice. If you're working at night and you start going in about 6 o'clock in the morning to the truck stop to go to sleep, you will have to, for a little bit, you will have to just find somewhere to park, um, until trucks start moving, until trucks start leaving. So, but if you don't know anything about your time, your ELD, be careful too though, because once you start moving that truck, it might hit you back on duty or driving or whatever. You most of the times, if you go like less than, and this is another thing that people can comment on too. I think it's like less than 15 miles an hour, or 10 or 5. I don't know. I really don't remember. I usually used to just try to keep it at under 5. If you go really, really slow to move your truck and everything like that, you can move it somewhere else once everybody starts leaving. And so I would just sleep for a little while, set my alarm, get up, so that way I can move my truck and then go in and go take my shower, and then I'd go back to bed. That's how I do it. That's how I prefer to do it. I mean, now at this point, I mean, I really still don't like days. I'm sorry, it's just too much traffic, too many people. I mean, too much going on in the day for me. I'd rather at night. I mean, it's a lot more peaceful to me. So, that's really what the video was about. And then there are some things that you'll have to learn about safety. Now, I would advise you to have some pepper spray with you. And I would advise you to learn how to. I heard about this, but I really didn't know until the other day. And I'm going to try to find the picture here in a minute. I might have to go through some things. You're going to see some things on my phone. It's just whatever. Put your seatbelts around your door handle. So what you do is you just wrap it around. You stick it through the handle and click it. So that way when somebody tries to open your doors, they can't, because your seatbelt. So I'll try to find that video. Let me see. Hold on. I'm sorry. No. I know I've got it on here. I take a lot of screenshots, so you just have to forgive me for this. Yeah. I know I have it on here. Oh, yep, there it is. Now you see that? How they put it around the door handle. And this is just a screenshot I took. Just don't pay attention to that that was from them. This is their a video that they had or whatever. I'm just taking this. Let me go back to this other one. So, but you saw that. So, and I'm just leaving it here because I mean, this is another thing I wanted to talk about. Theft. Because that's what this video, I mean, this is what this screenshot's about. Is they're backing up. You see that pole right there? I wouldn't advise it until you learn how to drive good, not to be doing that, not to try to get too close. Or if you're gonna go to the pole, stop, get out, look, stop, get out, look, stop, get out, look. Do not think that you're gonna look through your mirrors and assume you know where you're at on that pole, because those mirrors can lie. But the reason why they have it backed up to that pole like that is so that way for theft. It's a lot harder for somebody to try to get in that back doors and try to steal with it by that pole right there. So that's an advice right there too. Try to always, keep as much as you can, like from somebody trying to steal your load or whatever. They have these, yeah, these right here. Those black things right there, they go over your, trying to think of the names. Your air brakes. That goes to lock it. So that way, if somebody, nobody can try to steal it if that's on there. And then of course, you got your padlock that goes on the back of your door. And of course, fire extinguisher, all that stuff. But, yeah, that's a big thing. That's been a big thing too, is theft. So that's another reason why you don't want to, especially being a woman, you don't want to park places that, is kind of secluded. You don't want to park in the back of a truck stop where it's dark and you have to walk a mile to go inside and take a shower or whatever. You don't want to do that. That's not safe. So that's why I say, it's better to drive at night if you can. And then that way in the daytime you can park right next to the door and go in about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning and take a shower, no problem. You don't have to wait in a line to get your shower. Get in, get out, and go to bed. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's gonna take a little while if you're just now learning, but I'm telling you that's the best way to do it. And I mean, you may not like, and this is the thing, if you don't like to drive at night and sleep in the day, I guess I'm better with that, because before I became a truck driver, I used to work in the health field, and because my kids were young and I didn't have nobody to watch them, I was a single mother. My main thing was to work at night. I would work nights a lot. And a lot of times I would do 16-hour shifts. I would work from 2 in the afternoon till 6 in the morning. So I guess because I was used to it too, maybe that's why. So I don't want to tell you to do something if you don't feel like you can adjust to it. If you like days, do days, you know. But just be more vigilant of where you park when you park. It's not really safe for women to be at a rest area on the side of the road or anything like that. That's why I wish a lot of these places, I mean, Walmart, I'm sorry. Walmart's gotten to be where they're, I'm sorry, but to me, they're disrespectful to the ones who deliver to their stores because they try to make barriers and everything else where you can't get in there and all that stuff. What they should do, if they really respected drivers and everything else, is I know they got enough money to do it. They should make a little parking area. Even if they charge us $5 to park there or $10 to park there. You know, at least we would have somewhere safe to park. Now, I'm not saying, do crazy $16 or $20 to park there. That is just absolutely crazy. We need somewhere safe to park. So be $5. Come on now. You're making a ton of money already anyways. And you already know we're going to go in there and we're going to probably spend a ton of money. And so, I mean, you got a win-win right there. Make you some parking lots for truck drivers. If you don't want us to go through, your parking lots where all the customers are or where the small cars are, small vehicles are, or whatever, make a little parking lot. I mean, I go to Walmart. I'm not going to say I don't, I do still go to Walmart, even though it does make me mad that they make it to where you can't even go in sometimes to, find anywhere to park. And a lot of places are getting like that. It's not just Walmart. Sorry. Trying to do this video and things are coming up. But yeah, anyways, so there you go. Don't just find the safest place you can park. Because I'm not going to tell you all the stories I've heard. But yeah, women have been, and it's not just women, men too. Um, this was probably 5 years ago, around that time. Was a guy, he had parked in an abandoned convenience store, parked there, thought, okay, he's gonna go get some sleep, he was just parked there, it was abandoned, he wasn't gonna be bothering nobody or whatever. He went to try to go to sleep, somebody knocked on his door. And that's another thing, don't ever open your door for nobody. Just barely crack it, say, I'm sorry. Oh, and I'm gonna tell you some other things too. Hold on. I just thought about, I remembered this. Just crack it, say, I'm sorry, my husband's asleep. Even if you don't have nobody in there, they don't know that. I'm sorry, my husband's asleep. Can you please go away? Or my wife's in there sleeping. I'm not answering the door. Goodbye, God bless you. Whatever. They should not, in the middle of the night, nobody should be answering or opening or knocking on your door. Now, there are instances where they will. Like, for instance, one time I went to the TA. No, I'm sorry. It was the pilot. I didn't know I had parked in reserve because nowhere in there did it say reserved. I didn't see it anywhere. So I heard this bang, 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 bang. I'm like, I am not about to open this door. I said, who is it? I'm not opening that door. They said, oh, it's so-and-so with pilot or whatever. You're in reserve parking. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to move. I'll be in there in a minute and pay for it. And they're like, oh, okay, So, I mean, that it is going to happen. But you just tell them, I ain't opening the door. My husband's asleep or my wife's asleep or whatever. Who is it? What do you want? Don't be opening these doors, people. You're a truck driver in a big old truck full of, if you've got a load on you, full of $500,000 of stuff in the back or whatever it is, $250,000, whatever. There's a lot of money in there. Not always, but sometimes there is. And then you're a woman. Um, so I'm gonna tell you this other thing too. Keep your curtains closed at all times. Keep them closed. If you're a single driver, you're driving by yourself, you know, keep them closed. They will never know if you have somebody in the back or not. That usually will deter if they're trying to look for somebody to, steal from or rape or kill or whatever. If they think there's somebody else in the back. Because my husband, he would team drive with me and stuff, but there for a long time, I was a solo driver until I met him and we got married and everything. But, yeah, so even when we don't drive together, I always keep my curtains closed. They don't know if he's back there or not. And I think that's about it. If you have any questions, any comments, or anything else, if you like it, hit the like. If you don't, hit the thumbs down, whatever. Um, Subscribe if you like it. I'm going to try to start doing some more videos. I just started with, of course, you probably saw it because I did all these screenshots. I just started with CFI. I don't know much about them yet. I need to look at some of the videos that they have out for them too. But I've been driving, like I said, for 7 years. I don't know everything, but I will tell you, my uncle was a driver for 30 years. I had another uncle that did locally till he passed away. He did it, I think, for 15 years. And my dad, until he passed away, for about 30 years. He drove water trucks. He was in the oil field. And then I've been in the oil field too. So